Hunger, war, disease, violence,
Election day, Tanzania. Blood scenes across the
barbarous, savage, unknown.
First, we want to warn you, this report contains very graphic video.
This is a part of Africa the world chooses to see. Africa, Africa, a continent with no replica. In it, we dance to the tune of polka. Land of nature, but not culture. The gateway to heaven, but not burden. Land of idyllic glories, but not horrific dummies. Let the people of Africa rejoice in unity to the purity of the land which is given for eternity. But that is not the Africa people talk about, is it? For centuries, the world carried a single story about Africa. A story written without African voices. This began long ago, before CNN, before Hollywood, before media channels. It began in the Elizabethan era. Hakluyt described Africa as a place of savagery and strangeness. Travelers like George Best wrote that Africans were marked by God, lesser and cursed. Shakespeare wrote Othello as the more exotic, dangerous, other. These were the first lenses through which Europe viewed Africa. And sadly, those lenses still exist today. And that is what many parts of the world use to view Africa. But I didn't grow up in that story. I am from Ghana. Me a Ghanani. I grew up in a house filled with love. 6 siblings. 7 of us in one home with my parents. We ate from the same bowl. We shared everything: clothes, shoes, food, joy. We didn't grow up in war. We didn't grow up in violence. We grew up in community. We grew up in peace. But when I came to the US at 22 years old, I learned something painful. People here don't know that Africa I grew up in. They only know the Elizabethan version. I remember the first time I came here, someone asked me, "Are you happy to be in America? Because I guess you suffered a lot." Another person asked me, "Do you see hippopotamus and lions and elephants a lot? We do not live with them." I don't get angry because it's not their fault. I just take my time and explain the true genius of Africa to them. This project examines the Elizabethan image of Africa and how African writers reclaimed the narrative. Elizabethan travel writers, Hakluyt, Best, and others described Africa as uncivilized. Not because it was true, but because it justified trade, colonization, and hierarchy. They wanted to convince the other people that Africa was less, so it is worthy to be colonized. Most of the things they wrote was a propaganda in order to rule Africa, to take all our natural resources. Characters like Othello show how blackness was exoticized and distrusted. Then came Oluda Equiano, an African voice speaking back. His narrative shattered the myth that Africans were voiceless or cultureless. And finally, Chinua Achebe, through Things Fall Apart, restored African complexity. He showed a world of clans, justice systems, rituals, philosophy, a world that existed long before colonizers arrived. And I think I have to write a book to tell people about the true Africa. These texts from different centuries from the bucket of this project, a conversation between how Africa was seen and how Africa truly is. Africa is not a monolith. It has 54 countries, 1 billion people, 5,000 languages. A continent rich in diversity, beauty, and history. But you don't see that when your lens comes from the Elizabethan England. You will never see this part of Africa. This video is my response. This is my narrative. This is my bucket. By studying Elizabethan writings, by reading Equiano's voice, by analyzing Achebe's masterpiece, I'm showing you what happens when Africa speaks for itself. The things concerning Africa, the stories concerning Africa, has to be spoken by Africans. Has to be from Africa. The problems that is from Africa has to be solved by Africans. If you want to know the true genius of Africa, don't read books of Europeans talking about Africa, because they are all based on slavery, based on trade, and based on colonialism. If you want true story about Africa, read books an African wrote about Africa and compare the two. Africa is not what you were thought, and Africa is not what you believe, and Africa is not what you see on CNN and you see on Hollywood and other social media platforms. People traveling to Africa and telling full story about their experiences. That is not Africa. Africa is love. Africa is family. Africa is culture. Africa is tradition. Africa is me.